الرحمن الرحيم نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم أما بعد. Yesterday we spoke about why a Muslim will never engage in an act that is causing pain, grief, discomfort, fear, hurt to another person. But what if you're the one that someone is doing that to? What if you're the one that someone is picking on? Someone is constantly teasing or hurting or threatening or something along those lines. And it happens sometimes. It happens for different reasons. So the first thing to keep in mind is that you do not have to put up with it. Some students take it for granted that, well, this is how it is, and we just have to put up with this, and these people will continue teasing me, bugging me, making fun of me, and I'm helpless. So, no, you're not helpless. But also keep in mind that there are two types of people. There are those who don't say anything about it to anyone. They keep it trapped inside and they become miserable. They just keep it inside. They just keep it to themselves. And they end up becoming more and more sad, worried, paranoid. They lose their sense of self-confidence. They're not able to make friends anymore because they don't trust anyone, and it goes on and on. Then there is the other extreme where they will go and make a very large issue about something that isn't that large. Something that is trivial, something that will only happen maybe once, and maybe the person even came and apologized about it, or it ended, but you continue escalating it, making a big deal about it. So we don't want to be in either position. We don't want to be staying quiet when we actually need to tell someone. And we also don't want to be the person who's going and telling all these people about these terrible things that we think are happening to us, even though they're not all that terrible. So keep in mind that as long as you're a young person, young people will joke, they will tease each other, and sometimes they'll rub shoulders. There's a bit of friendly play fighting that happens all the time. There's no school that can regulate that can control that, unless we make a rule that no one's allowed to smile, no one's allowed to laugh, and no one is allowed to do anything. So that is not behavior that any school can possibly control. Where the school needs to be concerned is someone's feelings being hurt by someone, and someone feels that they can get away with it. They can hurt someone and get away with it. Or is this an ongoing problem where someone keeps doing that to another person, bothering them? And it could be for anything. It could be about the way they look. It could be about their physique and their body. It could be because of what country they're from, what language they speak, what kind of food they like. It could be about anything. But if someone is constantly bugging you and you're not okay with it, you have to speak out. So who do you go to? Who do you speak out to? So some of the best people to talk to are your teachers. You let them know that this is happening and I'm not okay with it. It's happened this many times. And try to be as specific as possible. Remember, if you go and tell your parents, but you haven't told the people at school, now it could be that this has been going on for a few weeks, and it makes it very difficult for the school to go back and investigate what happened. So it's better that you let your teachers know right away. If it's happening outside, let the yard duty teacher know right away. If you feel like no one is taking action, then you bring it up. Bring it to the behavior support department. Bring it to the principal. But make sure that your voice is heard. It could be that the people that you're talking to are so occupied, so busy with just teaching that they're not getting time to follow up, and that might happen sometimes. But it doesn't mean that you have to put up with it. And it doesn't mean that you have to give up on the people that are actually here to look after you. So you have behavior mentors, you have teachers, you have heads of years, you have the principal. There are many people that you can speak to. So don't speak quiet. Don't remain quiet when you should actually speak out. And don't also over-exaggerate things that you know, in your heart of heart, you know it's nothing. It's just something that it happened. It's not that big of a deal. Sometimes what happens, someone does something to us, we don't say anything. But then when we get into a real fight with them, then we bring that thing up that, oh, this person's been bullying me. And we're doing that just to get back at them. When in fact what they did wasn't that serious. So remember that to stay quiet when you're being bullied, and bullying is when someone's doing it all the time and you're totally not okay with it. So to stay quiet, that's not a wise thing to do. But also remember that to accuse someone of bullying, calling it bullying and accusing them, remember that that's a serious accusation. It's an accusation that we take very seriously, and it's going to affect that person because there are going to be serious consequences. So be wise. Be wise, be careful, at the same time be safe. We don't want to run a school and have an environment where students are not feeling safe. Students are not feeling comfortable, or students are coming knowing or taking it for granted that someone is going to pick on me today, someone is going to make my life miserable. We absolutely don't want that. So those are some tips. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala keep all of you safe and protected by His protection, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala enable us all to take the right steps when we need to take them. Wa sallallahu wa sallam wa baraka ala nabiyyina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa